Hey y'all, happy Friday. I'm not gonna be on here for too long. I know I usually be like, oh, I won't be on live for too long, and then I end up being on for like an hour or so. But I wanted to basically talk about some of the struggles that I've encountered as far as my entrepreneurship journey, because I did just launch my cleaning business in February. And some of the things that I've realized so far is balancing a 9 to 5 as well as my business. It's not the easiest. And now I truly understand what people mean when they're online and trying to give tips and tricks on what to do, or just expressing some of the hardship that they've encountered. But scheduling is is sometimes like a, let me see, more so like scheduling or just trying to balance both of them, really. Going to work, finding the energy to also put work into your website, learning your website more, or even trying to get more clientele. So far I've had a few clients, which I'm really grateful for. So excited for. I did run into an issue, not so much an issue, because that cleaning client that I could have had did not work out, but pricing. Some people not going to agree with your pricing, and you have to know your worth. And what I mean by that is, if you're someone, you are a hard worker, you want to ensure that the client that you're servicing is satisfied with your work, then you know your value. You ain't going to back down on your prices. Of course, there's always room for negotiation, but at the end of the day, or even discounts, at the end of the day, know your worth. So sometimes you have opportunity to make money, but if that person doesn't agree with your price or what you're charging, then it's just not gonna, it's not gonna work out. So I just wanted to hop on here real quick and talk about some of the hardships as well as some tips that I've learned so far. So I've always been a person, early on I knew that I wanted to eventually have my own business. I wanted to run my own business, but I really wanted to know what to focus on. Hi, Brevito? Cosmico. Cosmico, did I pronounce it right? Oh, and you're from Italy. Hi, Frank. Thanks for joining. So some of the things I want to discuss is hardship. So when it comes to being an entrepreneur, you're going to have to learn how to balance everything. And what I mean by that is, if you're someone, you're not 100% on your own or working for yourself, and you're working for another company, you have that 8 to 5 or 9 to 5, you have to learn how to balance both, how to manage both. Sometimes, some examples that I have for you, sometimes on my break, I may have to pull out. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking, Frank. How are you doing? How's your Friday going? But sometimes on my break, I have a certain time, right? On my break, what I'll do is I'll pull out my laptop. I'll bring it with me, my personal laptop, and I'll work on my website, or I'll try to schedule myself out. So as I mentioned earlier, I did start up or launch my cleaning business in February. Learning to balance both schedules. Hi, Jose. Hi. Learning to manage my schedule for work, as well as, hold on, y'all, 1 second. There we go. Yeah, so learning to do that has been a challenge, as well as clients. So you have to get in the mindset of advertising your business, advertise yourself, take the opportunity to introduce yourself to someone. If you see that there's opportunity there, always carry your business cards with you. These days they have so many things that you can use. Like, I noticed online, I've been seeing on TikTok, or I've been sent this information, but you can actually, I think it's like a virtual card, and somebody could tap it, or you could send it to someone and it'll be on their phone. Because sometimes people don't want to have the cards and they're carrying around. Sometimes they might just want to send it or have it available to send it to that person's phone that they, run into. So there's always different alternatives to advertising yourself, putting your name out there, because if people don't know about your business, And then how are you going to bring in that income that you want to? Now, early on, like I mentioned, I've always known that I wanted to work for myself, right? And I think it's okay to also have a 9 to 5. A lot of times these days, people are like, oh, go work for yourself 100%. If you enjoy working for another company, there's nothing wrong with that. There should be no shame in that, because sometimes you might not be bringing in the money that you want to from your company, right? So to have that other source of income, that main, sorry y'all, it's so hot. I don't have my AC on super high because I don't want it to take over the sound or drain out the sound. But having that source of income, especially in this economy, like I mentioned, it's really important, especially if you're an entrepreneur. You don't have to be 100% working for yourself. If you know that it's going to take time for you to bring in that income that you want, get that 9 to 5 or get that part-time job. Now, everybody's situation is different. Everybody's circumstance is different. Some people have families. Some people are single. They don't have kids. Everyone's different. So you have to know what works for you. And in this short time frame, listen, I plan to write a book, not a book more so, but just a few pages of information that'll be available for free. And then I'll probably have another one that I make that's a little bit more in depth, probably on my Amazon account, my Amazon KDP, to keep track and to provide information of the struggles that I encountered when it came to starting up, my cleaning business, because it's so much information out there. I don't really believe that you should charge for every bit of information. Sometimes it's okay to give back and help the next person out, give them the tips, or provide that PDF book or whatever to the public. Not everything needs to be charged. Some things people do need to know, and they may not have the funds to spend $50 on this. So I've been keeping track. This is important as well. And another tip that I have, and something that I've learned: write down your ideas, write down the struggles. Yes, a little old-fashioned. Everybody likes to be on their phone and use notes and everything. That's great. But if you want to watch your dreams manifest or manifest something, I'm telling you, I've seen this myself. I've done this myself. Write it down. It's the best thing to do, because you'll be able to look back and see, oh my gosh, this is what I wanted. This is what I wanted a year ago. This is what I prayed for 2 years ago. So I've been keeping track of problems that I've run into. I even, a couple of weeks ago, I gave the step-by-step blueprint of what I did to start up my cleaning business to a friend of mine, right? And although it took like an hour or so, I enjoyed doing it, because the fact that someone wants to do something and to bring in income for themselves, why not share that information? Did I charge? No. Because for what? Right? You don't know how many blessings you'll be able to get based on just helping someone just from your heart, right? But yeah, to get back on track, struggles that I've run into, I've been writing, and unfortunately I can't go on live on my business, business cleaning page, because I don't have enough followers yet. I'm working on that. But yeah, so I mentioned 2 of the struggles. I plan to eventually get enough followers to go on live on that page, because I want to keep my pages somewhat separate. But I still thought to get on here and share, some of the struggles and some of the tips that I would advise when it comes to, even if it's not a cleaning business, you can relate. If it's a hair business, cooking business, things that I've learned so far, and hopefully can help those out there that want to start up something. So if you have a 9 to 5, one of the struggles, like I mentioned, is going to be learning to balance both schedules of investing the time that you need to at work as well as your business. Another thing is clients. It is going to be a slow start. So you have to take the time to advertise yourself more. Money. When it comes to money, depending on what kind of business that you're in, because some don't require a loan. They don't require you to do too much. I remember with the cleaning business, what I did was, my background is in public health. I went to school to FAMU for public health, right? Got my degree. Y'all, I got my degree. Graduated, got my degree. Your girl could barely find a job that could pay anything, right? So during that time, and the jobs that I did find, they weren't paying anything but about $35,000. You understand? So To have a master's degree and be getting paid $35,000 and nobody else looking, that ain't really matching. So during that time, I remember I had just got laid off, and no, terminated. You know, I'm gonna be honest, I got fired. So this was a work from home job, but they said that it was one of those jobs like during the pandemic. It's like numbers. It's numbers. They want to, I forgot the term for it, but you have to provide what you need to provide, right? It was work from home job. It was paying like a reasonable amount salary. But baby, when I tell you they had me working, they had the whole team working, because if you're not producing them numbers, they want to know, hey, well, like, what's going on? So it's with rental assistance. So I was there for almost a year, didn't work out, got fired. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? But with me, I like to think quick. When you grow up a certain way and you have to catch on quick, you got to learn how to do things. You're going to learn how to maneuver. You're going to learn, okay, what do I need to do next? So I already had applied for unemployment. And I don't want this video to go all over the place, so hopefully everything comes together at the end. But I already had applied for unemployment, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? So I have a friend. This is a friend, a girl's girl. Like, sometimes, or everyone needs a friend like this. She's like, oh my gosh, cleaning really calms you down. I noticed you're always cleaning. When you stress, you clean it. I love cleaning because it brings calmness to me. So she was like, why don't you sign up for a cleaning company, get some experience, and then start your own thing? And I did exactly that. So did that, and y'all, I brought in, I think, about $2,000 or so in a month. I think like $1,500 to $2,000, but I was working. And the good thing with this cleaning company is I could set my own price. I was setting like $25 an hour. And of course, the more reviews that you get, good reviews you get, you become like the top cleaner. So because I was putting in that frustration, I was putting in cleaning. Sometimes you have to know where your talents lie, and sometimes you need people in your life to reveal to you those talents that you have. At times, it's some people that they don't know that they're strong strengths. You know, they're not aware. They're so on go all the time that they're not aware of their strengths. So you need those friends, and you need those relationships that'll help show you, like, hey, you're really good at this. Have you thought of this? And thank God for my circle of friends. Thank God for the ones that I have in my life, because they're in tune to what's going on with me, and I'm also in tune to what's going on with them. So took her advice, and the next thing you know, I'm like, damn, I'm really good at this. Eventually landed the job that I need to, able to bring in income. So I say that to say, when you're starting up, depending on your circumstance, you're going to need to bring in some income, okay, to support the business that you want to start up. Now, luckily for cleaning, y'all, you can go to the dollar store or Dollar General. Even though they upping their prices, it's still reasonable compared to other companies. You can find you some good cleaning products. Go ahead, buy them. You can ask a good friend or a family member for, if they could loan you, like, I don't know, $100 to start up, because you're going to need some gas to get to where you need to. You're going to need some cleaning supplies. You just need some basic things. You buy them. You sign up for that company that you can set your own price to, or maybe every company is different, and you start building your clientele, you know, and then you get the idea of what it takes. Because right now I'm solo. I'm a solo cleaner, but my goal is to eventually have employees, and I set a time frame in my mind, and I'm working on it. I'm learning as much as I can. So that's my goal. Understand what goal do you want to have. Understand the purpose that you want, to why you want to even start up the business that you're interested in starting in. So money sometimes might be one of those hardships, because let's just say you're unemployed. You don't want to be waiting on nobody, but you need to bring in money. If it's hair that you're good at, go ahead, advertise about you knowing how to do hair. Find a family member. If you know they don't have it like that, but they're willing to model for you, how about you say, hey, let me go ahead and do 2 stitch braids in your hair, and I just need pictures, you know, your permission to post the pictures. Try to bring in clientele, post yourself. It's always a way to make money, y'all. You just have to know what you're good at. If you're good at cooking, people are always complimenting you on your cooking, and they ain't lying, like trying to boost your head up and the food is nasty. Like if you get like real reviews, start charging for plates. Go to the Dollar Tree. They have those to-go boxes. Make some food. Start off with some rice, some chicken, and some beans. Something that's easy. Advertise this. Like, set your price. Start. There's always a way to go about things to bring in more income. Now, I know things are hard. I know people aren't making the kind of money that they want to these days. These jobs ain't really calling you back. But if you know that you really want to become an entrepreneur, you really want to start up your own business, you have the desire, the passion, do as much research. TikTok right now for free, because I don't know what they might have going on in the next few years, if they might have it, start having like charging us for things. You have TikTok, you have Instagram, you have YouTube, you have all these different platforms to where people are giving you the game for free, not trying to charge you. Some may be selling products, and that's cool and all, but a lot of them are giving you this information for free. If you want to start your own hair business or whatever, not so much a salon, but you want to braid people's hair and bring in some money, y'all, it's people on TikTok, literally on TikTok, because I do hair on the side sometimes as well, because I really enjoy doing that. But it's people that's showing you how to do stitch braids, and stitch braids is really popular right now. So find out the products that they're using. Find those pages, those platforms to where you can get the most information, and get a mannequin and start practicing. Business cards. You can go on Fiverr to have somebody create your business cards, or you could do your own by subscribing to Canva and making your own business card. You have social media. Like, it's so many ways to make things work, but you have to have an idea of what you want to do, why you want to do it, and what outcome would you like to desire, or that you desire as far as the outcome. So another struggle is, let me see, because I didn't write anything down. Everything is just coming off the top of my head. I always mention this in a majority of my videos. If you know you come from a family that's not as supportive, or if you have people around you that's always negative, or they're always down, they're always coming up with excuses, be very mindful of who you share your ideas with. Just be very mindful. You don't have to tell the whole world that your every plan, your every move, your every step, because not everybody is excited for you. There are some people that are envious, and you're like, what's the point? I'm struggling. You just don't know about my struggles. So be mindful of the information that you share with other people. Not everything has to be shared. I know that right now, everyone like to tell their business. They want to tell their business. They want to get views. That I don't know. I just come from a different generation, to where I'm talking like I'm about 100 years old, but it's just not used to just telling all of your business. So you don't have to do that. Just move in silence. And if you need information, reach out to those that you know could possibly help you. So that's another tip that I would suggest, and also one that I had to learn from. I remember, like, back in the day, because I'm a positive person. I try my best to be. I know where I come from, what I've been through. Like, everyone has been through what they've been through, right? Everyone has a story. I had to learn to stop sharing my business, because not everybody was happy for me, Not everybody was happy for me. So I had to learn to kind of tone it down a little bit. And the moment I started doing that, the blessings started rolling in. The moment I started to write more things down and to minimize sharing it to the people, or being mindful of who I share good news with, or an update of what's going on with me, that's the moment that blessings started to roll in. And that's when I knew God been saying, like, you need to tone it down a little bit. I know that you're a kind person. I know that you want to share the news, but baby, not everybody be caring for you like you care for them. So that's another tip that I have. Let me see. So I told y'all to write things down, keep track of it. Because this is tips. I'm going to change the title, but this is tips and hardships that I've had to encounter. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. If you are someone you're interested, let's just say, in becoming a content creator, focus on, I think you only need about 51 followers, I believe. You would not believe how much getting on live has helped me improve with my public speaking. Now, I've never been afraid to speak in front of people. I don't care. Meaning, everyone's different. I ain't nervous to, speak in front of 50 people, however many people. But there are some people that are kind of shy or they're timid. It's the same thing, but they have a fear of speaking in front of people. If you're someone, you have a business you want to start, let's just say content creating is a business, right? It's a form of business. So if you want to sell products while being a content creator, focus on getting on live, because it really helps for you to remove that fear of speaking in front of people. It helps you improve a lot of things, so it's so many things that you can learn. You just have to be a little bit more open-minded, and that's another tip that I have. Don't limit yourself. Be a little bit more open-minded. If someone that is in a decent position, regardless of the position that they're in, if you see that they take their own advice, you like the position that they're in, and they offer you advice, write it down or put it in your phone or email it to yourself. I don't care. But be open-minded and do a little bit more research. Ooh, another thing is something I've had to learn, y'all. Research. Lack of research will get you in some trouble. And what I mean by that is, I have attempted a few business, okay? And they didn't work out. But the reason they didn't work out is because I didn't do the research that I needed to, right? So please do your research. And what does research look like? Because some people need for the process of research to be a little bit elaborated more, right? What research is sitting down, okay, so where you can focus and reading. It could be articles, it could be a quick Google search, it could be on social media, getting different perspective from things, it could be talking to people, it could be putting yourself to where you would like to see yourself. Like, let's just say if you want to your business is in hair, find someone who owns a salon or someone that you see on social media. Go in and ask first if you can shadow them. What does a day look like being a hair salon owner or a braider? You understand? Because lack of research, y'all, will have you spending unnecessary monies, will have you making all types of mistakes, will have you buying product that you don't need to buy for your business, and there was an alternative, more inexpensive route to take. You feel me? So research. And also, if you're someone who is multi-talented, you're good at things, don't ever let anybody discourage you on trying new things. But with that, be sure that, how can I put this? A lot of people will sometimes try to downplay what you have going on or make you feel a way for enjoying trying different things, different risks. Some could come from a caring place and some could be from a judgmental place, whatever. But don't let that discourage you from trying new things, because my perspective is you only have one life. How are you going to know that you enjoy something if you haven't tried it? Depending on what it is, especially when it comes to business, right? How are you going to know that you enjoy doing something if you don't try it? Try it. Hi, how are you doing, Kumar? But try it. Good evening. So don't have anybody come rain on your parade. If you want to try something, you're good at hair, you're good at cooking, you're good at cleaning, you want to tap into those things, do it. But be mindful of that, and also do the proper research and find the time in your week. Happy weekend. Find that time in your week to do that research and to put time into it. Some advice that my therapist gave me was to make sure that you pour into your 5 buckets. And the 5 buckets include financial, intellectual, physical, spiritual. And I always forget like the fifth one, but you could do a quick Google search. Make sure that you're taking proper care of yourself and to pour into those buckets, so that way you don't feel overwhelmed. Sometimes doing this where you're working a 9 to 5 or 8 to 5, as well as owning your own business, you feel overwhelmed. You feel like, oh my goodness, when are things gonna hit to where I'm making that money that I see myself making? So you have to also make sure that you take care of yourself. So I just wanted to hop on here real quick and to share some advice, share some of these struggles that I've had. Oh, another tip that I have is, anyone that you like on social media, or that they provide good advice when it comes to entrepreneurship or any other advice, keep track of that by saving it on your, like saving it in what is it, like the tabs on YouTube or something. Like I have a tab to where I'm like, I save it, and it's like YouTubers that give good business advice. So that way you can always go back to that person that gave that good advice, and you write it down, and you don't be like, oh my God, like who was it that gave that good advice or whatever. So that's some of the tips that I have. But like, keep going. Don't let anybody come and ruin the vision that you have for yourself. A lot of times in the past, people have said things, or people have made me feel some type of way, but I never let it discourage me. So don't let people discourage you. Make sure that you build your mental, that you speak positivity over yourself. Don't say negative things to yourself. And if you do, correct yourself, but be sure that you always keep your mental right. Focus on your spiritual as well. Practice gratitude. Do all those things, because it's hard out here. It is. It's a lot of things going on in this world. And in order to continue to be a better version of yourself, you have to push yourself. Don't depend on people to always give you praise, or however you want to say, encourage you. Something that I learned early on in life was to not depend on people to encourage me. I encourage myself, and I always ask God to please guide me in the right direction. I pray over myself. You know how people like, pray for me, pray for me. I pray for myself first, right? And I also pray for others. But keep your mental strong. Keep yourself strong, and that may look different for other people, and just keep going. But also don't be afraid to ask for help, depending on who it's from, of course. But yeah, I hope that everyone enjoyed this live. I hope that there's something you could take with you from what I shared. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'm always open to following people, encouraging them. But every day that you step out, ask for protection, ask for guidance, and go about your day. And also try to learn at least one new thing a day. But don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'm gonna continue to keep y'all updated on my journey as I go. And I hope that everybody has a great day and a great weekend. All right.